Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm Nick, aka Dad.
And I'm Addie, aka the Monkey.
Hey, and if you're not a subscriber, you need to smash that subscribe button because we're finding some tips, we're finding some tricks, and definitely some products that we use on our Bronco that you can use on yours. And in this video, we're getting rid of these stupid inner fender liner fasteners. These are the bane of my existence, and we're getting rid of them today with the install on a product we showed you just a few months ago. So
let's get started.
So for the hook road installation of their inner fender liners, this is the front driver side. It's important to note that we have different brackets for the different sides. You will be using two of these on both sides, which are the oval or rounded edged ones on both sides. You'll use two of these, but the center one is different. Now on the driver side, we'll be using this one here. Has this little ear here, and we're going to be placing it up here where they've got like a little electrical connector here, but there's a hole right here, and it looks like we've got maybe a metal brake line, it looks like, right behind it. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to put that right in here where this edge that sticks out a little bit there, this edge here is going to be facing you, or the hub, the tire, so it's going to be kicked out a little bit. And then that little dog ear that's on here will be resting up against the side right in there, and we'll be using the short M8 bolt, and it has its own washer. And then the other thing that'll hold it together is there's an M8 flange nut as well. So that goes in the center hole, and then these smaller brackets will just use the M6 bolts to attach them to the front using the factory tab here, and then the rear using this rear tab back here, which is it's the third one from the bottom that are already there. So it's going to be right here, lower part of the fender. We'll be using that hole. So let me get these brackets installed and we'll get going with the rest of the install. We've got this one put in, tabs against the outer edge of this bracket they have here. Now these oval ones, like I was saying, the one goes right up here on the front. We're basically going to have it pointed down from where this goes through. So we'll get this one put on here, and then we'll start with the back one and hopefully have this done in no time. Now I know their instructions say probably with two people, they're saying you can get this done in about, I think, 30 to 45 minutes. I think that might be pretty accurate, but yeah, with one person, definitely gonna take me a little bit longer. Now I guess it is good to note too, I've still got these a little bit loose to where I can move them. They do say in the instructions not to tighten everything down until you're finished, so we'll leave this a little loose in case we need to move them around while we put the inner fender liner in. All right, now it's time for the inner fender. I think what I'll do is I'll try to start at the front and hopefully get that one in, and then put one in the back. Hopefully they'll line up with the center then. We'll see how this goes. All right, and here is the hook inner fender liner all put in. It is good to note that you do want to keep, most of these a little loose. I did end up loosening up these pieces here, 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 and here, because this bolt here, sorry for the light, didn't line up real well, so I loosened this plate here so I could move it around. The other thing is, if anybody from Hook Road is watching this, we have a 2021 here. The bracket did not line up very well here, so you can't see the button head bolt that was supposed to come through here. Because like here, for instance, and here, you've got the bolt we have underneath coming through that hole there. So it's just a little misaligned with where we're at here, but I tightened that one down to begin with, and didn't need to move it since I had that ear tag on there. But yeah, it didn't line up real well, so just something to keep in mind, that you may have to loosen some of these bolts and move those inner panels around to be able to move it around. But the thing is too, fitment, I mean, obviously you're gonna have some gaps here because we're using flat steel. So we've got some gapping at the top, but they got these nice little pieces here that kind of fill that in. Would have been nice to have maybe a piece up here, kind of fill that in a little bit more, like this piece here. The front fits flat. But yeah, that's my only qualm about it. They've got their Hook logo right there. Sorry again for the light, just trying to illuminate everything for everybody. And then they have the venting up front here. So yeah, overall, for the cost of these things, I am glad to be done with those plastic fasteners that I hate every time I have to take them out for whatever reason here. So yeah, let me give you my final thoughts on the Hook Road inner fender liners. Passenger side will be very similar to this. They have that different center tab versus what this one was. But other than that, you're going to be using same locations or something similar. The instructions were actually pretty good. So we'll get over that here in just a sec. Hey, thanks for watching the video. The one thing I'm excited about, no more of these fasteners. Hook Road has eliminated me ever having to be upset with these little fasteners and having to pop out 12 of them on each fender liner in the front. So I'm definitely gonna do some rear inner fender liners from Hook Road. I think the steel construction is great. I love that it only takes 3 bolts to take out those front inner fender liners. They're gonna give us some added protection. Some things that I thought missed a little bit was that little piece at the top. I wish they would have put another, flange piece on there to kind of fill in that gap a little bit more. The fitment was just a hair off, as you saw, as I was talking about with the center bolt being a little bit off. But just keep everything loose on the inner fender liner, and you can go back and tighten everything down. But really, that's all I found on it. I'm just so excited to get rid of these fasteners. You just have no idea. These things are just terrible. And if you've ever had to take out your inner fender liners, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm glad to have them. We'll put in rear inner fender liners here down the road, get some more added protection and just a little bit more ease of use. So definitely, if you're looking for getting rid of these fasteners, go to Hook Road. I think bang for the buck. They're 149 bucks for the front pair. They're not separate. And then the rear come in pairs as well. And I think those are around $149. So I think bang for the buck, great. Made of steel, powder coated. I think it's a great product. We did notice something last night. We took it out for a drive. Probably the first time we'd gotten it out since we put the JKS Max Tire Clearance package on, which is fantastic. And the inner fender liners from Hook Road. We're rubbing. Yeah, we're rubbing. And it's the fender liners. I didn't even think about it. A lot of people, I had actually already had a question about, do you need to use the JKS brackets in the back to attach? No, you don't. Which is nice, but the reason that JKS does that is it pulls the flexible fender liner back and out of the way, where the Hook Road one is pretty much a little bit even further forward than the stock one is. And so when we make a hard right or a hard left, the back side of the tire is touching. So I need to figure out a solution, but really this whole plate back here would need to extend and push back this back fender piece back further. So we may have some work to do ahead of us. So we'll see what happens here, but I like the fenders. If you're gonna run 35s, these are gonna work great for you. If you're running 37s and we have that Icon 3-inch spacer lift on this, you're gonna have some rubbing. There's gonna be an issue with the back part of the fender flares on both, or the inner fender liners on both sides. So take that for what you will, but if you're running 35s, no problems. But we appreciate you watching. And if you're not a subscriber, don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and products that we find that we put on our Bronco that you can put on yours. Have a blessed day.
Bye.